Madam Chair, this is the 2023 SALN. We can proceed to see the totality, the net worth, Madam Chair. 2023, can we go down further, please? A little bit down. Ayan, net worth po. Net worth for 2023. 77,508,841 pesos. This is for 2023, Madam Chair. Can we flash 2024, Secretariat, please?
Kindly flash the 2024.
Can we
Scroll
go-
down first.
Okay, yeah,
please.
that's correct. For 2024, released by the Office of the Ombudsman, net worth of the Vice President is, can you put it a bit further, please? Up.
Down, please.
88,512,370.22. So we are submitting it for the record because these are public records which our colleague had actually asked for. And if we will base it from the original SALN at 2008 to the 2024 SALN, Madam Chair, it is an increase of more than, I think, 1,200%. So we leave it to the Justice Committee as to whether or not we would consider it,
There was an increase of 10
As a-
million pesos, Madam Chair,
sorry?
from 77 million to
No, the original
88.
SALN at 2008,
How
Which
much
was-
is the 2008 SALN?
18 million,
1.8. Is it 1.8 or 80?
1.8.
It's 1.8 million. Do you have a copy of the SALN also of 2008?
We will locate it, Madam Chair.
So, we're stating for the record, it was being shared to us by the Honorable Ridon that per 2008 SALN, the net worth is 1.8 million. And now we are shown by 2023 and 2024 SALN, which shows net worth of 77 million and 88 million respectively. Do you have any additional manifestation?
That is correct, Madam Chair. So we leave it to the House Committee on Justice to make a determination on whether the comparison between the original SALN at 2008 and the current SALN at 2024 constitutes unexplained wealth, which is essentially part of the impeachable offenses that we would want to proceed with at this point, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Rodriguez.
2 points. First point is that the impeachment proceedings in the Committee on Justice against Chief Justice Corona, this representation has attended since 2007, 4 impeachment complaints, which I have been a member of this committee since 2007. The first complaint was against the President, GMA. 2007, I was new, dismissed. Then we have Gutierrez, Vicidita, she resigned. And then we have Corona. On record, Madam Chair, precisely, this representation voted no to the Corona complaint. Because to me, there was no sufficiency of substance. And in the resolution of the House of Representatives, I voted no. In the Senate, it proceeded because the majority, of course, with the President at the time pushing for that, he was therefore impeached. In other words, the proceedings there are completely different now. I don't know that during the time they allowed it, but here our chairman is making sure that we follow the requirement of substance, that there should be sufficiency in form and substance, and there should be recital of facts. Well, in that particular case, I lost. I was against it. It proceeded. But I voted no. I did not want Chief Justice Corona to be impeached. Later on, it has come out that there have been lobbies with senators to impeach Corona, you see. So, therefore, that is what happened before. But now, Madam Chair, we are with you. You are presiding this very well, and we want to have the real recital of facts constituting the offense charge. And certainly, based on this, and based on the complaint, and based on the annexes, wala. Now, a new matter is injected by our friend, Congressman Ridon, stating about SALENS of 2023, 2024. Is that particular SALN, has that been authenticated by the Ombudsman? Do you have a copy of authentication of the Ombudsman?
I don't,
Honorable Ridon?
I don't think that is required. It is public record, Madam Chair.
You know, there's no automatic authentication, public record, all the records. There has to be authentication. When you go to a proceeding like this, it's the Justice Committee of this country, of the House of Representatives.
Madam Chair.
You cannot just state that it's a public record. Now, where is it? Where is it? Is it found in the complaint? Because we are limited, Madam Chair, to the complaint and to the annexes. Here we are. Here we are. We're limited with this. To inject something based on the statement, and there is no authentication that we have, there is no such thing as automatic authentication. In any proceeding, you have to authenticate.
No,
So
Madam-
therefore, there can be,
Madam Chair.
unless there is an authentication and the Ombudsman has already certified that, we cannot take cognizance of that particular injection of this new matter in the hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Just to be clear.
Honorable De Lima first, and then Honorable
excuse me,
Po, and then
Madam Chair.
Honorable Ridon.
Authentication can be done at the evidentiary stage. No need for authentication at this point. The committee can subpoena, can request copies of those SALNs from the official custodian, the Office of the Ombudsman. So authentication at this point is not needed. Thank you.
I disagree, Madam Chair. May I be just one sentence? Our
Proceed.
verification. I will read now the verification. Verification of this. What does it say? In the verification of the
Personal
complaint.
knowledge or authentic records.
Yes, precisely. We have to have ultimate statement of facts, personal knowledge of the complainant, Attorney Cabrera, and then, of course, here we go. I will read now the verification of Attorney Cabrera. Aha.
I think it was just one
allegations-
sentence, Madam Chair.
Let
Just
us
one
wait,
sentence.
let us
So
wait
this is my last
until
sentence.
he finishes with his
No, that's three
manifestation.
sentences already, Madam Chair.
My 3 sentences is considered as 1 sentence.
All right, Madam Chair.
The allegations, number 3, the allegations in the complaint are true and correct based on my personal knowledge or based on authentic documents. See? That's very clear. Nobody can debate with that. And if Congressman Ridon says this is authentic, that is his word. We have to get authentic documents signed and duly certified by the Office of the Ombudsman.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable
So, that is
Rodriguez,
5 sentences, but considered
That
as one.
was one paragraph already. The Honorable Ridon.
Madam Chair, it's a very basic question. That is an irrelevant response. You know why? Because firstly, I am not the complainant. I am not bound by the verification. Hindi ba? Why are you talking about authentic records? I am speaking as a House member and participating in the House Committee on Justice. The point is not on point, Madam Chair. And my question is basically, are we being challenged that what is being presented is actually not the true representation of the SALN of the Vice President for 2023 and 2024? Kasi parang ganun ho yung dating. And more importantly, dinabas ho ito. Nakita ho ng bayan, yung 88 million
Madam Chair.
nalaman po ng SALN. So, think ko that should not be considered,
Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Po, and then the Honorable Suntay, and then the Honorable De Lima.
Madam Chair, so we can move forward already. I just want to clarify for the body whether or not the Honorable Congressman Rufus Rodriguez is asking us to ignore the SALNs that were presented earlier. Is that what we're being asked?
That is precisely to answer. Can I answer, Madam Chair?
You're recognized,
You cannot
Honorable
inject
Rodriguez.
anything not found in the complaint, in the annex. Because then the requirement that he, Attorney Cabrera, is of personal knowledge and or authentic, that is very clear in all verifications. Authentic.
We go back to Honorable Po.
Well, then, to that point, I believe that we should move into merit so that that can be admitted as part of the evidence, no, in,
Madam Chair,
in this situation.
well, he's right to ignore it, but, Madam Chair, just one last
Yes,
one
you may
point.
proceed.
Well, he's right to ignore it, but firstly, he was challenging the availability of public records. So we were submitting the public records actually available. And secondly, I am not asking that it be made part of the complaint. This is being submitted for the consideration of the body that it is untrue that public records relating to SALN, unexplained wealth, do not currently exist. It exists. And we had been submitting it for the record, Madam Chair, irrespective of whatever documents that had not been submitted by this complaint. Madam Chair, I submit.
The Honorable Suntay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, Congressman Ridon stated two facts. First, tama yung sinabi niya, he's not the complainant, but he's trying to introduce new documents which he wants us to consider. Second, the document he is trying to introduce is not to the knowledge of the complainant. So, we cannot consider it here because it's not part of the complaint.
The Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing prevents this committee from directing the production of SALNs as essential documents in determining the facts of these proceedings. Impeachment is sui generis. We have all the plenary power or authority to do that just to arrive at the correct conclusion, just to substantiate and establish the necessary and essential facts. That is my position, Madam Chair.
Just like any other manifestation of the justice members, the document presented by the Honorable Redon forms part of his manifestation. And
Madam Chair.
therefore, all of your manifestations, including the documents which were shared, will become basis of the judgment of the justice members in determining the sufficiency in substance.
Madam
That
Chair.
might not be introduced as an evidence yet, but that might be introduced as part of the manifestation of the Honorable Redon. The Honorable Padiernos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'd just like to point out in our rules of procedure in impeachment proceedings, under Section 7, kasi pag-usapan po natin yung mga SALN and other documentary evidence. So it says here that the committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. So ibig sabihin po nun, again, at this stage, we're just merely looking at the recital of facts, whether it constitutes an impeachable offense. So I would just like to proceed with my manifestation. So Madam Chair, on Article 5, the committee's task is not to decide whether the respondent actually has unexplained wealth. The question is whether the complaint pleads a coherent theory of liability supported by alleged facts, which, if true, could amount to an impeachable offense. As pleaded, Article 5 alleges that public records and financial leads point to assets and financial movements inconsistent with lawful income and allegedly not fully reflected in SALNs, which, if assumed true, raises a serious accountability issue under the SALN regime and supports a theory of betrayal of public trust. Kaya lang po, meron po tayong case. I just wanted to also share with the committee the case of Salig, where the Supreme Court held that it cautions that errors in SALN do not automatically equate to dishonesty, absent intent and due process. Kasi na-mention din po kanina, It's unfair daw po na kung merong hindi na banggit sa salin ay automatically liable na dapat yung impeachable officer. So those considerations are matters for later stages. Again, hindi po natin sinasabing guilty ang ating impeachable officer at this point in time. We are merely looking at sufficiency in substance, yung which later on pwede po mag-submit yung ating impeachable officer or respondent ng kanyang mga defenses. So at this stage, the pleaded allegation is that the omissions are material and linked to unexplained wealth indicators, which it would appear would be enough to cross the threshold of sufficiency in substance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Zamora.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 points. First, this is regarding the ultimate facts that must be alleged in a complaint. And this goes for all of the allegations in the impeachment complaint. Salita versus Honorable Magtalis, GR number 106429, June 13, 1994 states, a complaint only needs to state the ultimate facts constituting the plaintiff's cause or causes of action. Ultimate facts has been defined as those facts which the expected evidence will support. As stated by private respondent, the term does not refer to the details of probative matter or particulars of evidence by which these material elements are to be established. It refers to the facts which the evidence on the trial will prove and not the evidence which will be required to prove the existence of those facts. Second point, Madam Chair, we were discussing lengthily about the public documents, the SALN. Public documents follow the self-authentication rule. They do not need further authentication. They should be enough, and their existence as public documents is by itself their authentication. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable De Lima, would you like to make manifestation?
That is exactly my point also, Madam Chair, about the
All right.
self-authentication rule relative to public documents. And SALNs are public documents. When we're able to get them, they are public documents. Thank you.
I think we have made an ample exchange of arguments in as far as Salen is concerned. But I wish to reiterate that while it is true that we cannot introduce evidence at this stage, those SALNs which were flashed by the Honorable Ridon forms part of his manifestation. And therefore, just like any other manifestation of the rest of the members of the Justice Committee, will serve as basis in our determination of the sufficiency in substance.